We're going to talk about 48 and 48, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself, my story, and then I'm going to really give you actionable, tangible things that you can take with you for the rest of your day that you can apply to your business that has helped me time and time again as my entire journey. And I'll take you back to where it all started. So I come from two immigrant parents. They landed in Toronto with my three older brothers, one of them in the crowd here somewhere. 3 kids under 5 with nothing but a dream. I think maybe with a couple bucks in their pockets. And my dad drove a truck for 20 years. My mom would clean houses. And in fact, she was very creative. Because there was 5 of us, she had to drive us to school. She's like, how can I make money driving them to school? So she drove the short bus, and all of us would be in the back, and she would make money driving us to school. I thought it was the most genius thing of all time. And very, very humble beginnings. 5 of us, we would triple bunk bed in one room. We had one mini caravan that the 7 of us would have to split and fight over. And when I was 13, my mom started her first business. And out of nowhere, things started to happen. We went from sharing a room, the 7 of us, to me having my own room. We went from splitting one car and having to ask my friends to drive me to practice because we had no car to all having our own car. And we went from seemingly being stressed, never having been on one family vacation, to going on a cruise, which I thought was the coolest thing of all time. I was like, holy fuck, people do this? They do it every year? This is insane. And everything was just happening for us. 3 years into that incredible, life-changing moment, my mom started a business, we started making money. I watched it all go away in one day. The government of Canada just made a simple rule change that prevented my mom from operating her business. And in the snap of a finger, it was over. Within a matter of months, we had to sell the house. My 3 older brothers had to move out. We had to sell the cars. And I watched my mom cry every single day for an entire year. I'm not going to cry right now, I promise. And I'll never forget, she would cry outside because she didn't want me to see. And one day I came out and I saw her wiping her tears away as they took her dream car away. In 2006, my mom really wanted the Range Rover when it came out. She bought it, and I watched them literally come with a tow truck, pull it away, because she couldn't make the payments. And as a young kid, you don't know what to do. It's like, I got to solve this. I don't know, what do I do? So I went up to her and I was like, so are we fucked? Is it done? Like, is this it for the Spivak family? Like, what do I do? Do I sleep at my friend's house? Like, where do we go? And she looked at me and she said 2 words that have stuck with me for the rest of my life and I've brought into my entrepreneurial career time and time again. She said, not yet. Not yet. We're not done yet. And that was the beginning of my entrepreneurial career. I had to do something to be able to take care of myself, take care of my family, and hopefully one day get my mom that car back. But I was a young 13, 14-year-old at the time. I had no fucking clue how to do that. I was just playing hockey and getting C's in school, so it wasn't looking good for me. But that's when it started. So it was the lemonade stands. It was the party bus business. At one point, we did 80% of the party buses in Toronto as a 15-year-old. I had threats at my house, so my dad made me stop the business because the guys were getting scared. I figured out Facebook ads. This is 2015, guys. And then it led to dangerous window cleaning with no insurance when I fell off a roof. And then my dad's like, you can't be doing that anymore. And then at 18, in the basement of my house, we started juicing. Like literally fruits and vegetables in that blender, in these mason jars, we started juicing. And this is way before you guys see the juices at the grocery store. This is 2013. The healthiest thing to get was a Subway sub, which we know now is not that healthy. And before you know it, we started a brand called Revitasize. And when I tell you guys this, I mean, we were dead broke. And to make matters worse, the years after my mom lost her business, my dad was a truck driver. He would typically do 12 to 14-hour days. He had to take on the stress of all the bills And he would work 18-hour days, and it became too much. To make matters worse, our little juicing business became the business because my dad had a stroke while he was driving. And it was in that moment where that not yet felt like a lie. It felt like it was done. How the fuck do you recover from that? And you know when you go to people's house, you walk into the door, they have this little bench, and you sit, you do your laces, you take your shoes off. You couldn't do that at my house because when you came in, there was a cash register at the door to sell you a juice. That's how crazy it got. We were selling juices out of the front door. It was insanity. People would knock all hours of the day, all hours of the night. So we launched our first location that year, and we now have 10 locations across the city. But 3 years later, I'm at a bar, and one of my friends comes up to me. He goes, Aaron, you're like this weird guy. You dropped out of school and stuff, and you played hockey, and you got hockey pucks in the mouth. You have no friends. All your friends are partying. I have another friend who also dropped up and has no friends. Why don't you guys go be friends? And I was like, what? Actually, not a bad idea. I need some friends. So I went up, and I met the guy that changed my life. His name is Lior Ohayan. I met him at a bar. And I was telling him my story. He was telling me about the internet, this thing where you don't have to open up retail locations. You can just have a website and then sell stuff on it. And then they buy it. And then you get the money and then you deliver after. And I was like, wow, what a game. I love it. And then a week later, Lior drops the craziest stat of all time on me. In the most, you guys ever met this guy, the way I say it is the way he would say it. He goes, Aaron, I was just on the internet the other day, and I saw that 1 in 4 Canadians are suffering from anxiety and insomnia. And even more are suffering from stress. He's like, what if we can create a product that would just solve that? He's like, it would work. And I was like, genius. Let me be your business partner, please. You're a genius. And after convincing him over a Franz breakfast, we started with this idea as can we create this product? And we chose the weighted blanket because there was hundreds of years of studies. And 4 months later, January of 2018, we launched the first ever Hush blanket, a 48 by 72, 15-pound blanket that didn't do much other than this weight distribution. And we launched it, and there's someone in the crowd here today who helped us launch it. And I remember 2 days into our Facebook ads, we were $180 in. I was pissed because that's what I made DJing on the weekend. I had no money. I'm like, holy fuck, this is a scam. Mark is taking all my money. And the third day, we make 1 sale. The next day, we make 3 sales. The next day, 5 sales. Next thing you know, January is a 30K month. 60K month to follow, 90K month to follow, 120K month to follow. Guys, I'm rich. Lior and I, every night for 30 minutes, would go on Auto Trader and look up Ferraris. And we were like, okay, 3 days each. 1 day for the car to rest, 3 days each. We'll split it. We never got the Ferrari, spoiler alert. But we were over the moon. This was it. We made it. July hits, 7 months in, we go from those 40 sales a day to 1 sale to 0. Nothing. Zilch. FS. Nothing. 0, 0, 0. No one's buying. And it was in that moment that Lior is going to hate me for doing this, so no one posts this on the internet because he's not here. He sends me an infamous text. He goes, Aaron, it's time to shut it down, bro. We got a seasonal business. I don't want a seasonal business. Who wants a, unless you're into pools or some weird stuff. Why do you want a seasonal business? You want to be able to sell all year round. It's so stressful. So listen, we'll sell the inventory. I did the math. By October, we'll get it out. We'll make $32K each. It's more money than you've ever made before. And we'll move on. We had a good rip. It was fun. And it was in that moment where I reminded myself of the words that my mom told me multiple times. I was like, okay, Lior, good idea. I like the idea of 32K, but not yet. Not yet. So what did we do? There's a framework, and you guys can take a picture of this. You can steal this. This framework has guided me for the rest of my life. Some of you have seen it. It's a framework to challenge your limiting beliefs. This is the framework that has and did revolutionize our business. And I said, okay, do we have a limiting belief, or do we actually have a foundational problem in our business? Do we actually have a problem here? Are we doomed? Do we have a seasonal business, or do we have a seasonal product? So we run through it really quick. So is there a rational reason for the belief that we have a seasonal business? I mean, yeah, no one's buying. Seems pretty legit. Could we be mistaken? I mean, absolutely. Of course we can be mistaken. And then this third one, in 2019, I don't know if you guys were in here in Toronto. Do you guys remember Gary Vee spoke at Meridian Hall, now Sony Hall? Anybody? Some of you? Okay. I was able to sneak backstage. I went to Gary in 2019. We were a $1 million business. I snuck in. I was like, Gary, what's up? I got one quick question, please. Listen, we're a $1 million business. I want to go to a $10 million business. You think we can do it? And like the quickest response of all time, without asking me even what I was selling, he looked at me and he goes, what's your name? I was like, Aaron. He's like, cool, Aaron. If I was running your business, you think we would do it? And I was like, fuck yeah. If you were running, we'd be a $50 million business. And he's like, cool. So then why should you continue and act and feel this way about some other person if it's not true? It's just a limiting belief that we had about ourselves. So we created our verse. We said, we don't have a seasonal business. We have a seasonal product. Now we need to make a product that sells all year round. So in the last-ditch effort, knowing that we just had a limiting belief and that we could push through, I picked up the phone and called our 2,000 customers that purchased the first 6 months of our business. Took us 41 days. 80% of the people said one thing, 20% said the other. 80% of the conversations went like this. Hello, Mr. Customer. This is Aaron calling from Hush. I know you purchased from us. I was calling to see how the product's going, if there's anything we can do to make the experience better, and if you're still using the product, give us the feedback. And every single person said, Aaron, this is the best thing ever. I had the best sleeps, but it's 30 degrees outside, and I'm sweating in places I've never sweat before. I'm going to melt through my bed. So this thing is in the closet, and I'll bring it back out in the winter. But great product. Every person. The other 20% were angry husbands. They're telling me if I call their wife one more time, they're going to find out where I live. And a couple of them actually did, which was crazy. But I was relentless. I wanted to find the answer. So we had a light bulb moment. What if we could create a fabric that kept you cold all year round? And then we're like, all right, let's figure it out. We spent the next 6 months. We created what we called the iced fabric. Now, we started Hush with $4,000. We were broke. We had no money. I can't buy 100,000 yards of this new fabric. What am I, Lululemon? Where does this come from? No one's going to believe in this. A fabric that keeps you cold. What? So we did what we had to do, and we launched on Kickstarter. And our goal was to sell $40,000 worth. And in our short 30-day campaign, we did over $1.5 million to over 7,000 backers from 8 different countries, and took our business from a $1 million seasonal business to a $10 million all-year-round business. Thank you. And it didn't end there, because as you can see on this image, we were Hush blankets. And I was with Lior in Tulum, my co-founder. And he was saying, all right, Aaron, so what's the next blanket? And I was like, why does it have to be blankets? Oh, because our name is Hush Blankets. With blankets in what? What? And we went back and we did the same protocol again. Can we be mistaken in this? Will we believe the same to be true about someone else in a similar situation? And what can we come out of it with if it's not true? And we said, let's drop the blankets, because we are way more than just blankets. And then we bought Hush.ca. We ended up sponsoring the Montreal Canadiens. And then we went to take that fabric, and we did the same thing over and over again. We called the customer and said, what do you want? I know you're sleeping with a pillow. What does it need to be? It needs to be big, fat, small, easy to adjust, cooling on one side, no wrinkles on my face. And we launched pillows. We launched sheets. We launched mattresses. We became way more than just a blanket company, because we didn't get fixed in this mindset because our name was Hush Blankets. And we went from a $10 million business to a $24 million business the next year to a $48 million business. So 48 in 48 months. And on the 48th month and 17th day, my mom, she didn't really speak English growing up. So we had one song that she would sing to me every night. You guys want to guess what that song was? Sleep Country. No, I'm kidding. But that would be sick if it was, right? And on our 48th month and 6th day, we completed our acquisition of Sleep Country, which at the time was a landmark Canadian acquisition, one of the very few Shopify acquisitions in the country. And it was a moment that we planned for and believed in since the first day of our business. We knew who we wanted to sell to, how we would do it. And it's because we had unwavering belief in how the end of our story would end. And to cap that off, I was able, on my mom's 60th birthday, to surprise her. And I didn't show my face here because I don't want to show you. So you guys are going to see me cry. That's not going to happen. So you see the back of my head. And I was able to surprise her with the car that they took off her driveway when I was just a kid when she lost her business. And I was able to complete the circle. So I have a question. We're going to do a little work together here. It's 8:30 in the morning. None of you guys did your F45 class this morning, so we're going to do a little bit of work together, okay? Because as much as I like talking about myself, my goal for today, the intention was to leave you with a couple tools to take into whatever your business is. Whatever your business is, you have a rope. So the question is right now, what is your rope? You guys have all seen the elephant with his leg, and you guys have all seen it, no? No, okay, I'll explain it. So essentially a baby elephant, they strap the leg, they pin it into the ground with this small little pin, and it's strong enough at the time to hold back the elephant. But as you know, elephants, they get quite big. Some of them 14,000 pounds. But these ropes work on these big elephants because they believe, as they were when they were kids, that this rope can hold them back. And now we all have this rope within our business, within our personal lives, within our relationships. We all have them. I have them. I had it this entire year. I did 26 keynotes last year, and I was like, I suck at this shit. What? I don't want to do this anymore. It was a limiting belief that I couldn't provide any value to the people who came and spent their time with me. We have them all the time. So, I think I'm going to time it. Oh, it's not good. It might work because he's going to do it. We're going to time it. You're going to pull out your phones or your laptops. We're going to take a minute here, and we're going to write down one limiting belief you have in your business, in your life. I'll talk the entire minute just shouting out ideas. I heard 5 of them this morning meeting some of you amazing people. One person told me they don't have enough time. One person told me that their niche isn't big enough. The other person told me that it's so competitive. I've already heard 5 this morning. It's not even 10 o'clock yet. So let's write one down together right now. We'll start the timer. Boom. Take your time. One limiting belief that's holding you back in your business. My plan was to make one of you share it, but I can't see shit, so One limiting belief. This is fantastic. So many are doing this. This is amazing. One thing that's holding you back in your business. Maybe it's Zuckerberg, He's just not giving you a 4X. Fucking guy. He's just not doing it. Maybe it's Google. They don't like giving you, CPCs are going too high. Maybe it's your no, I'm kidding. I won't pick on agencies. Okay, 10 seconds. So suspenseful. It goes red. It's like a bomb. No, I'm kidding. And, all right, cool. Okay, I'm going to go backwards. Maybe we'll do one, if I can see. Does anyone want to share a limiting belief? Anybody? Ah, fuck, I can't see shit. Okay. Say your name. Oh, I can't see shit. All right. Hit me. Zero. So say it one more time. It's too hard and risky to go from 0 to 1. Oh. Wow, I love it. It was almost like I planted you. That's an amazing. First of all, thank you, guys. Guys, give it up. Thank you. You said it was Ben, right? Yes, Ben. You gotta stand up. Okay, we're gonna do this. We're gonna do this live right now. Okay, Ben. Answer the questions. I'll read them out to you, okay? 1, is there any rational reason for you to believe in such a belief? Yeah, you're right. 100%. You know how scary it is? You know, I did it when I was 22. It was easy to just, I was already broke. You know, I don't even need to go broke. I was just broke, right? But Ben, I have a question. Could it be mistaken? Could you be mistaken in this belief?
I believe so. Testing.
Oh, you got the mic. Let's go. Yes. And this is my favorite one when Gary shattered my world, 2019. Would you come to the same conclusion about some other person in a similar situation?
After hearing your story, probably not. But no, I have actually left my job to go try. So
definitely. I love that. So your verse, I'm going to cheat here because I do want to live a little bit of time for Q&A. The verse is the facts. The facts are there's this big mountain in front of you, and you could very well be making the biggest mistake of your entire life, and everything can go wrong, and nothing can go your way, right? That's very real.
Correct.
You can't escape that. But why should we continue to act and feel this way if that's not the absolute truth? Because Ben, why don't you tell me what the other side of the coin looks like? What happens when it works for you? What does life look like and feel like when it works, when your business works out?
I think there's like 2 things. Like 1, it's just like to go out and try. That's like the I think the dream on my end. And then the second piece is like to be able to actually like provide kind of like your own and have control of your own destiny, whether that's good or bad.
It's unbelievable. So the verse now becomes, my business is thriving. I'm providing for my family. The risk and the fear is way behind me because I can build a business. And what's the business, Ben?
TBD exactly, but aggregating small businesses to get better purchasing power.
There you go, because my business aggregates better than anyone else in this fucking world. And businesses can't wait to work with me because I save them money and I give them the buying power because small businesses in this world suffer. And without me as a tool, they don't benefit. So I am not only of value to society and I'm fulfilling my dream, but I'm able to put food on the table and to provide for my family. Does that feel okay?
Feels pretty good.
Damn, that's your verse. Right? And I'm a psychopath. I have 65 verses. I say this shit all fucking day. All day in the mirror. All day. We had 70,000 competitors. Ben, you can sit. Thank you so much. One sec. Do a big one for Ben. We had 70,000 people on Amazon. 70,000 active people selling weighted blankets. You know how many people told me, Aaron, it's a fad. It's over. For them. For them. At one point, we were selling 88% of the weighted blankets in the market. We were selling to them. Because I didn't allow that theory. And then I remember during our acquisition, our acquirer, my good friend Stu, goes, Aaron, what happens when people stop buying weighted blankets? I said, we'll sell them something else. We'll sell them something else. Before we open up to Q&A, I'm going to leave you with the last thing, the biggest hack that I've learned in my short 11 years of painful entrepreneurship, I learned something that you all know. We've all heard the saying, right? You're the sum of the 5 people you spend time with, right? We've all heard it. Of course we have, right? If 4 of your friends are smoking cigarettes, the likelihood of that you smoke cigarettes is exponentially higher, right? We've all heard it. But the reality is that's true in all buckets of our life, specifically when it comes to building our business. Now, I started this when I was 18. I remember signing leases with landlords. They would look me in the eyes and be like, kid, why don't you open up a fucking ice cream shop? And I was like, what? Where's your dad? So they say, where's your dad? Why don't you go get him to sign the lease? At 22 with Hush, I didn't know what to, we were running, our first Black Friday, I ran a 24x ROAS. 24x. Because I didn't know that I can spend more than $1,000 a day. I didn't have anyone be like, yo, Aaron, you know, like you can go to like 5x and like make way more. I was like, what? What's a country? What? What? I didn't know any better. My friends were at school doing all that fun stuff that I missed out on, you know, just living life. During our acquisition, I was 25. I didn't know anyone that sold a business. I didn't know what lawyer to use and how to navigate that. I had no one to tell me, look, Aaron, this is exactly what I did. By the way, avoid A, B, C, and D mistake. And it's the hardest thing to do because raise your hand if you admit that it's lonely as shit being business owners and operators. Yeah. Why did we choose this? It's the loneliest thing in the world. No one sits in our shoes. No one understands what it's like to suffer and to feel alone. And right after the acquisition, I took a little bit of time and I figured out what I wanted to do. What do I want to do now? And I wanted to create that container for people like me, like you, that really like sick and tired of Facebook groups. Everyone's trying to sell me some shit. I don't know who I can trust. And my co-founder in this business I'm about to tell you about, we met 30 days too late. We met 30 days too late. He was in the middle of an acquisition, and when he came to me, he's like, do I choose option A or B? I said, you choose the option that's going to pay you. And he's like, well, I pinned them up against each other, and he lost both deals. And because he had no one to tell him who's been through it before. So the easiest way that we can take ourselves to whatever next level you want to get to, in all buckets of your life, your relationships, your friendships, your health, your business, your personal wealth, your personal finances, is to be surrounded by the people who are already, A, want the best for themselves in those buckets, or B, have the best for themselves in those buckets. And I know you guys all like that because you're here in this room and you're trying to do the exact same thing. I see you guys networking like crazy. But there's a difference between networking and being a part of an environment. So 6 months ago, we started something that we called the Founders Club, which is essentially a community that I fucking wanted when I was building my business, where we come together every 2 weeks. We Zoom in these incredible cohorts of people in your niche, and we spend valuable time together where I get to ask like honest, NDA safe questions. You know, I didn't understand during my acquisition when I signed an NDA not to tell anyone. I thought I literally couldn't tell anyone. I was like carrying around this acquisition for like a year. My hair was falling out like crazy. I couldn't tell my employees. It was just me and Lior. We were terrified. No one told us that you can like also just sign another NDA with someone and then tell them. No one told us that. I didn't know. So I just suffered alone for an entire year. It was the worst year of my life. Press it. Now, that's it for today. We're going to open it up for Q&A, but I wanted just to reiterate the 3 takeaways from today. One is, we all have limiting beliefs. I hope you took that screenshot of that framework. If not, I'm not doing it. Maybe I'll put it up at the end when we do Q&A. Understand them, be able to push past them, and understand that typically it's not over, it's just not yet. The next thing is, don't be stuck in the fixed mindset. Always be looking for solutions, for what's next. How can I pivot? How can I move past this terrible time? Whether it's a personal issue, a business issue, whether it's fear, taking the big risk. I was so fucking scared, Ben, when I started. We were doing 20 million in revenue, and I was DJing still on weekends because I was terrified to take $1 out of the business because I was so scarred from what happens in one day and how you can lose it all. And the last thing is to create your winning environment. Be intentional with who you hang out with. I'm an assassin when it comes to who I hang out with. I cut people left and right. I'm like, I don't like the way you act with your parents. See you later. Whoa, you have a gambling problem. 1 second. Let me line up here. And I pick and choose my people to fill all buckets of our lives. And that's how we create what I believe is an actual successful entrepreneur. Not someone that makes millions of dollars, but someone that is full in all of their buckets. That's it for today. We'll open up for Q&A. There's a microphone somewhere. I don't know if we'll pass it around because this is like a big, this is like 50 meters there and back, unless you're training. Okay, someone, I guess, just raise your hand and we'll, or just shout. Okay.
Thank you so much for sharing your...
Wait, where are you?
That's
Holy
me
shit.
Here,
raise your
right
hand.
Here
Oh,
in the
okay.
middle. Hi.
Sorry.
Yeah, thanks for sharing your story. It's so inspiring, so genuine. I loved it. I almost like teared up, but I was trying to.
Damn, I wanted you to actually cry.
I could have.
Okay,
I would have. But I wanted to hear more about your marketing strategy. I know you mentioned about calling your existing customers. I wanted to hear like how other people, like new customers, found Hush.
So one thing that, the reason I didn't talk about this was because we have Jake at the end of today, and I didn't want to steal it from him. So essentially what we did, to break through the noise is what you experienced right now. Me being as vulnerable, as authentic as I possibly could with you without crying. We did the same with our advertising. We were at the forefront showing people the trials, the tribulations of building a business. We were a founder-led brand. People got to know us. We lived under the ethos that people don't buy from brands, people buy from people. And they buy from the magic of storytelling. So for us, it was, how do we connect deeper and deeper with our customer? We were the only sleep brand to host a community event, I think, in history. Like, has anyone ever gone to an event with a sleep company? Like, no. We were doing things where people would meet us, constantly calling our customers, constantly communicating with them. All the videos were us. We were showing them the pain. We launched a mattress in 2021, 1 year after Casper came to Canada. The stupidest thing you could have done in 2021 was launch a mattress. It was the dumbest thing ever. It was an oversaturated market. The CPAs on I think we're over like $2,000 on Google. It was the stupidest thing ever. And when Casper came to Canada, they did $1 million on launch. When we launched our mattress, we documented every part of that journey with our customers. We documented when one of our suppliers called us and said, hey, we just got word from our big buyer that if we work with you, they'll pull the contract. We recorded that shit and sent it in an email. We're like, guys, we have to push back launch. They just swiped our feet. Our customer was like, don't worry, let's go. We can't wait for this mattress. We showed people, we cut open with chainsaws. We cut competitors' mattresses with chainsaws to show people the garbage inside of them. And we said, we're going to change that. And we documented every part of it. So at the end of 6 months, when we launched our mattress, the connection with our customer was stronger than ever. And on launch, we sold $1.5 million with not a single ad. We had so many people, we had so much pent-up demand. So it's less about What is the strategy? What is the tactic? What is the funnel? I mean, all that stuff's important, don't get me wrong. But it's more about, as a brand, how do you connect with your customers? I was in love with them. I was in love. I knew as many of them as I could. Every week, I would call 10 of them. I would send them FaceTimes. My connection with my customer, even till today, and I don't know if I want to make you raise your hand, there's someone in this crowd that I signed a blanket for when we opened up in Yorkdale. I remember one of the executives from Sleep Country was in the store. She looked at me. Her face was frozen. She was like, she couldn't believe that I signed with a Sharpie someone's blanket. Like, they have to sleep with my scribble now. She couldn't believe it. She's like, I've been in this business for 30 years. I've never what? What? She couldn't believe it. And it was, for me, it was like, that is the connection that we built. So we took a lot of pride in the storytelling and in the community aspect of our business. In a competitive space like ours, without that, we would have died. I hope that answers your question. Go ahead.
Hey, Aaron, thank you. Thank you very much for sharing all this story with us. And my question for you is, how do you see the e-commerce nowadays? Like, where is going the industry from people who are just starting from different industries? For example, mine is coffee. How do you see the industry? How is going on? Like, what is going to be for the future for us?
So the question was, I'm going to say it back to you. The question was, where do I see the e-commerce as an industry going? You sell coffee, like the beans? Yes. Fantastic. Your own brand?
No, I import the coffee from Mexico.
Fantastic. So you import coffee, you sell it online. Where do I see it going? Listen, I'd be lying to you if I told you that e-commerce now is the hardest it's ever been, and it's only getting harder. Last year was the hardest it's ever been. The year before that was, I think maybe COVID was a little bit of a cheat code, you know, like everyone's selling candles and making 60K. But outside of that, it's always been super hard, you know. Advertising, Meta, Google is becoming more and more expensive. Unless you're like a prolific drop shipper, you find like a weird product and you're able to ship it. But overall, it's becoming more expensive. So, but I'm still have never been more bullish on it, right? The best product and the best marketing always wins. So if you do have the best coffee, it's the challenge is, how do I come up with the most unique way to connect with my potential? Like, I love coffee. I love it. I just moved to Miami. I went on a coffee, I went to farmer's market. Some guy sold me this Cuban coffee, gave me diarrhea. I've got to find a different one. Like, I love coffee, you know? So if you were able to connect with me, the coffee lover, and tell me the story of why you were importing from Mexico, why did you choose that farm? Why is this coffee so important to you? You'll find your tribe. And we don't all need to sell to everyone. It's a huge misconception. We don't need to sell to everyone. We just need to sell to the people that believe in whatever I believe in. You need to sell to people that believe in what you believe in, that believe in, I'm going to make this up now, I'm giving you marketing, believe in fair trade, believe in locally sourced, believe in, one single farmer who's been on the farm for 50 years and eats the soil with his mouth, and you have a crazy video of him doing it, and you're like, gee, I make the beans, and I would be like, oh my God, I want that bean in my mouth. That's what I would do. I would want it, I would buy it. So that's really where it is. Otherwise, you're stuck in e-commerce land. How can I improve my conversion rate? How can I improve my landing page? How can I make a better TikTok ad? My agency's fucking me. My agency's overcharging me. I need a better, you get stuck in that loop. It's good night, Jim Kite. Let's wrap it up. You got to always break through the noise on your own. On your own. All that other shit is extra. It's extra. The ads will figure them, all that shit is extra. You got to build the brand and build the story and build the connection with your customers. All right, we got time for one more. Fuck, now everyone raises their hands, huh? Unbelievable. All right, whoever gets a mic gets the question. I don't want to choose. Sorry.
Yeah, so you mentioned building a brand and the branding side, and juggling that with strategy like funnels and conversion rates. How do you juggle that? Like, when you get started, do you obviously if you're just going to make an Instagram page and post organically, like that's going to get little traction compared to running ads. Like how do you juggle that game? And do you think branding is the game you play, once you're already getting traction, how do you juggle that, if that makes sense, to get started or as you can want to scale?
There's a lot of ways to take that question. You said a lot of things there. The one thing you said is you're going to post organically and get little traction. That's not true, right? So many of us just, tell me something that I can do today and go home and press a button and do something that instantly gives me money. A good mentor of mine, Jesse Itzer, once told me that anything good takes 10 years. Anything good takes 10 years. Hush is on its 7th year. It's going to be a $250 million brand. It's only 7 years. It's going to be a $1 billion brand. It's literally 7 years old. Sleep Country is 34 years old. It's older than me. It takes a long time to build anything. And so many of us, we get discouraged so fast. Holy fuck. We post 3 TikToks. None of them go viral. Fuck this TikTok shit. It's a fucking scam. Algorithm hates me. I got a face for the radio. You start making all these limiting beliefs. You make 25 Instagram posts, don't hit 1,000 followers, you just fucking, organic is a scam, no sales. Right? You launch one product, one ad, you put 150 but doesn't sell, the ads don't work. I see it time and time and time and time again, which is why it's so important. This is the juice. It's so important that you actually, and I invest probably too much. I invest a lot into brands, and this is the ethos. This is the difference between actually doing it and not doing it. You have to actually love what you do to the point where nobody would want to compete with you. We would say every single day in the Hush office, Leo and I'd walk in. Okay, I'm a little bit arrogant, okay? But I'd walk in. Leo, we had this little den and his dog. I'd walk in and, push the dog away. I'd say, Leo, isn't it funny? How lucky are the guys that sell phone cases that we didn't decide to sell phone cases? We'd fucking kill them. Aren't they so lucky that we didn't decide that we love phone cases and that we chose this? You are competing against the world. And when you love it, when you truly love it, people feel it. That's the authenticity. That's where the coffee beans come out, that connection. Who watched the Michael Jordan Netflix movie? Come on, everyone. No? Fuck. All right. I've never owned a pair of Jordans before. At the end of that series, I own 2 pairs of Jordans. Nike reported the largest spike in Jordan sales in company history after that Netflix movie came out. Nike had 0 involvement with that show. 0. Not a dollar did they invest. But what happened? We saw the real Michael Jordan. We saw it. We saw his passion, his warrior, and that pissed me off. And I was like, fuck yeah, me too. When someone copies my ad, fuck yeah. I got so angry. I'm like, me and Michael, we're the same. I'm going to wear his shoes. We're going to wear the shoes. I am Mike. Mike is me. That's how I felt. And clearly, so did hundreds of thousands of other people. So how do you bring that into your own business so you have the energy to deal with your shitty ads, your shitty socials, and you push through? You say, I know it's not working, but it will work because the world hasn't seen what I'm about to bring to the table. Our ads didn't, what? I'm not going to tell you what we've been through. We've gotten sued. We've got cease and desist. We've had people copy our products. I still have people on Amazon trying to sell our. I still nonstop have people trying to take us out. But the one thing they didn't know was who they were dealing with. They were dealing with a guy where I watched my parents lose it all. I watched my dad had a stroke. Are you gonna fucking deal with me? I'm the last guy you don't want me to sell coffee beans, okay? You don't want me to do it, because if I love coffee beans, we're gonna have a problem, okay? That's the mentality that we all need to take. And you know what? I'll leave you with this. Every single one of you meet those people. You're gonna meet them today. When someone tells you about their product, their eyes light up. You see it, whatever it is, even if you don't understand it. We have this app that doubles your conversion rate, blah, 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 blah. And you're going to be like, I don't know what you're saying, dude, but whatever it is, you're going to crush because you love it. It's your soul. Holy shit, dude, go crush it. You have no idea what you just said. You have no idea, but you feel it. And like, how do we use the internet? How do we use the tools that we have, the organic socials, the ads, the landing pages to convey that authentic message? So don't go on ChatGPT and say, if I were to launch a brand, what would you do to sell lots of it? You know? Look yourself in the mirror and say, how do I convey my heart and soul into this? Because every brand that's ever been anything, you feel the soul. I hope that helps. That's my time. Thank you, everyone.